and we are bringing you a surprise right now into the studio here for our biggest episode in a long time. We're bringing back an old friend that actually is part of a podcast that inspired mostly superheroes. I see him on right now. I hope he's ready to say hello. He's here to give us his take on Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. Guys, welcome. A 7-year podcast out there that has inspired me to do what we're doing in here. I'm so happy to have back again, who's been on the show, Imran of the Jock and Nerd podcast.
What's up, fellas?
Yes. Imran, what's up, man? I can actually hear you now. If you were talking before, I couldn't.
No, I just started talking. It's good to see you guys. I can see you. I just flew through several multiverses to get here. I was in the wrong multiverse. Sorry, I'm late. I was at it was the wrong universe.
There he is. Welcome back, man. How you been, dude?
Good. How's it going? I see your fantastic set in there. This is amazing.
Thank you so much. It's been, we've come a little bit of a way since the last time you were on our show. This is a whole new space now. It's exploded over the time. I mean, I think that that we could have never expected for all of these things to be coming up for us. I mean, at this point, almost weekly, right? Just a new title all the time. How has Jock and Nerd been doing, handling all this new content coming in, man? And tell some little people about where they can find your show real quick before we dive into this quick talk.
It is a golden age for comic book content, right? Like, you told 12-year-old me that you'd be getting all this stuff, I would have been like, get out of here. Get the hell out of here. I'm proud of you guys. The set looks great. Jock and Nerd podcast. Like you said, if you like what these Logan and these guys talk about here, it's a great companion. Geek news, entertainment. We got comic book movie reviews over at jockandnerd.com, shows every week. And I couldn't be prouder of you, Logan. Look at what you built. It's amazing.
Thank you so much, man. I really appreciate it. Hey, you don't happen to have your mixer there, do you? Can we get a Jock and Nerd soundbite?
I don't have the soundboard plugged in. You should have given me heads up.
I know, that's it. Hey, wait, do it live.
Okay, I'll try. Jock and Nerd.
Jock and Nerd. Jock and Nerd. Jock and Nerd. That's right.
Bad. Listen, it's bad etiquette to bring your soundboard on another show. Like, that's not, I'm trying to be.
Next time, bring it. I want it. Hey, man,
all right.
Thanks for joining us. And also, I didn't tell you this. This is a little bit of heads up. I want at least also a tidbit of what you thought of Moon Knight. But I want to focus on the title for today, the meat, as we call it over here.
The meat.
And just so you know, Imran, I don't know if you've ever met Scotty Scoop. He's one of our co-hosts here on the show now. You have met the Giggler, and then back again, also on the show for the second time, local legend and artist Stephen Walden.
Nice. Now, honor. Nice to meet all you guys.
All right, Imran, we're going to give that spoiler alert for Multiverse of Madness. Doctor Strange 2 is here. We haven't even talked about it yet in our show. It's going to be about an hour from now. So you're getting us warmed up for our episode with this. This is a special treat for our Patreon patrons. This is a special treat to any viewer that's watching us on Twitch right now. What I'd love to hear from you, Imran, if you could give us a little bit of a spiel on what you thought of this movie. Doctor Strange is back. The last time we saw him was Spider-Man No Way Home. Tell us about what this movie experience was for you, and we'd love to have a rating from you. We use a 4.0 scale, but we'll happily convert for whatever you want to use.
All right, 4.0. I could do the math. I'll pull out my calculator. So how we do it? We're talking full spoilers.
Full spoiler alert. You have the full green light. I want to dive right. I want to dive right in.
All right. Look, going in, there was a lot of hype to this movie, right? Obviously, you can't help but have read all the cameos, all the rumors. Like, I was being fed information from a listener of ours who's in a Facebook group with a supposed Hollywood insider. He's feeding me these giant rumor dumps, and I'm like, I don't know if I should read this, but I read it, and most of it was bullshit. So I'm glad to report. But I was like, man, if all this stuff happens, this movie is crazy. But based on what happens in the movie, the hype, the marketing, it's very interesting going into this. Mm-hmm. I enjoyed the movie. I had a lot of fun with the movie. Seeing Sam Raimi's visual style back on the big screen was probably the best thing out of this movie. What a treat. What a creative, he's got his bag of tricks, and yeah, he uses them a lot. We've seen them a lot, but they're great. They're great when he pulls out that swoopy point of view camera or the quick jump scares, right? So, much like, I think he set a nice feel for the Doctor Strange franchise moving forward. A lot of like what Taika Waititi has done with Thor, James Gunn has done with Guardians. Like, I wouldn't be mad if he gets a third movie, right?
Yep.
So overall, fun performances, good performances. Danny Elfman doing the music, great visuals. I enjoyed it. However, on the other side of that enjoyment,
here we go.
I think the writing was probably the weak. It wasn't weak. It was hampering. There was certain choices, certain holes that hampered the movie, and marketing interestingly misleading because I did not think going in Wanda was going to be the big bad. Right?
The big bad.
Yes.
Right. I don't think anybody. I think they made it seem like there was another threat there.
Yeah.
Yes, they did.
But this was a team up of sorts.
Right. I absolutely thought that. So clever on their part. Yes, that was a good subversion of that. However, the trailers also made it seem like this movie was going to be a little more substantial, I think, for the MCU moving forward than it actually was.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so Multiverse of Madness, I could have used a couple more multiverses, a little more madness, basically.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
You know, it was there. I don't know if you've seen, there's a movie out there called Everything Everywhere All at Once. Have you guys seen it?
I mean, you just tapped right into, this is how we're on the same page, Imran. You just tapped into our show program. It's going to be one of the first titles we talk about in What You Watch, and I'll go ahead and give a spoiler alert for that too, and tell us.
I'm not going to spoil that.
That's okay.
But that one, you need experience. I don't know.
That's true.
Spoil that
Actually, don't spoil it because I haven't seen it. So
the only thing I will say is they handle. That's a Multiverse of Madness. Like that title works for that movie. Just they handle it a little bit with more substance and thoughtfulness than in this movie. But fun movie. Love seeing Benedict back in the role. You know, he's so good as this character, and just kind of how you learn that he's kind of a shit show in every universe. It's fantastic.
Yeah, I love how they brought a lot back from that first movie. You had the doctor that he worked with there with him in the wedding, calling him out like world's best surgeon, world's best superhero. I loved Christine Palmer, just that. I mean, I love you in every multiverse. That's the line.
That's great.
Right?
Yeah.
You probably enjoyed that quite a bit.
Yeah. Yeah, their chemistry's a little, I don't know, like the actors' chemistry's a little iffy, but I thought they could. I kind of felt like her and Mordo did get a little sidelined. Let's just get to the big thing. All right. The cameos. What the cameos we got. I love that scene. It was insanity. It was disturbing. And you did not expect them to be murdered in such fashion. And boy, was that good to watch.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
that fun?
Scotty Scoop brought up a good point. I mean, try not to give any spoilers here without talking specifics, but have you seen Invincible?
Yeah.
Right? You see what I'm
so
saying?
it's a very opening of the end of the first episode.
Right.
Omni-Man bit. So great subversion of that. So that is something, you know, I know they changed around a lot of the cameos in the reshoots, and there were supposed to be some other people. But that was great. And honestly, I think Elizabeth Olsen damn near steals this whole movie.
Yeah.
Like pretty much almost every scene she's in. I loved her performance in this.
Yeah, you mentioned like the wishy-washy kind of feeling with some of the actors. I feel like Wanda's character, you know, that was the one where I was like, okay, she showed up for this.
Yeah, she anchored that movie for sure.
And what's surprising is Sam Raimi has not watched all of WandaVision. He said it in an interview. They showed him just a few important moments. And so what does he do? He goes to Elizabeth Olsen and he let her take control of her character and put her where she needs to be, because she, you know, she's the one that's been on the journey, and he didn't even get to see the whole show, but it still worked.
Yeah, man. So good. Love hearing your thoughts on it. Those cameos are crazy. I think I was a little shocked to see that the Illuminati just gets massacred in like one literally afternoon.
Yeah.
It's hilarious and disturbing, but you know, it does set the stage that these characters exist in these multiverses.
It was definitely like the Marvel mood of like showing here's what we can do, right? Here's a little taste. All right, so now we can do anything.
I mean, straight up fan casting for Reed Richards.
I know, right?
100%.
Krasinski's in there.
They just went for it. They're like, we're gonna do it and we're gonna kill him. But they've established that the characters in the multiverse can look like exactly like each other or look completely different.
Yeah.
This leaves it open to just, I think they should recast the entire X-Men, give us a new X-Men cast from scratch.
Yeah, man.
Definitely.
I jumped in a lot. Any questions from you, Giggler, for Imran on Multiverse of Madness, or any shout outs there?
Let's see. First off, great to see you again. Last time we did this, we were all on Zoom.
Yep.
So
Yes, it
that's
was
what's-
pandemic time still.
That's
Heavy
what's
deep.
crazy. But we gotta hear your rating.
Yeah, let's
All
dive
right,
right in and
that's
get
what
that.
I wanna
Let's
know.
get multiverse of rating from
Okay.
Imran.
Okay, overall thoughts. And that's the thing is I enjoyed the movie. I thought it could have been bigger. They could have pushed it a little. Great. The ending was a little rushed.
What's your biggest
like-
What's your biggest problem with the movie?
Man, I would. Oh man, that's good. I don't know. I guess a little more characterization for America Chavez also would have helped.
100%.
Yeah, for sure. Like they should. Like they were like Carrie said it. My fiance, she said, I guess they asked this girl mainly like, can you run really well?
Yeah. Can you do Tom Cruise running on screen? I mean, she's 14 years old, right? So she did a great job at 14.
Yes.
But she's going to be important. What an important power to have. Like we put her in the Young Avengers. That is a useful superpower, right?
Oh
there.
yeah, we're coming up on that for sure.
Yeah. So, okay, if you're going to do it out of 4, I will give it. Oh man, how does that break down?
Go with your gut.
Whoa, I'm gonna have to go like just.
What is your normal rating system? Because I have a conversion chart.
Whoa, it's out of 10.
Yeah, go ahead.
Taking way too long.
Go ahead.
Out of 10, I gave it a 7.5. What is that? That's like under
34, you give it a 3.
3
Oh, it is
point.
a 3. Oh, yeah.
It's probably like a
Okay.
3.125.
Okay. Yeah. That's where an overall.
That's
like,
I'm gonna give it up. That's a great score.
yeah, that's good. And
Yeah.
I mean, it's right in the middle of like all. There's 28 Marvel movies
For us,
which is
that 3.0 becomes a kind of a threshold of sorts. You know,
Okay,
where like
okay.
if you made it over the hump, you're okay. But if you're right at the 3, you just kind of cruised. And if you're in the 2s, some things kind of had some problems.
You've lost your scholarship.
And we've only had one on the show ever, and it was my fiance rating Morbius.
All right, I buy that. I can see where that comes from. This is like converting to the metric system. I don't know why it's so hard for me. No, yeah, that it's out of the 28 Marvel movies, I will put it like right in the middle. But probably one of my more favorites of this recent phase 4. The theater experience is great. Nothing will ever top the experience of Spider-Man No Way Home.
Yeah.
And Endgame.
Yep.
And I don't know if I should have walked in expecting that, but I definitely had more joy in No Way Home, which is just joyful.
Yeah, that's it. Whenever that's what it is for me. I mean, I heard your guys' episode on Spider-Man No Way Home. You guys did a fantastic job, of course. But man, what a nerd fest! Just those magical feels 70% of the time. I'm with you. I didn't feel that in this one. I was wowed at the views and what was happening, and it was almost like when it is over, I'm excited for what comes next.
Well, let me ask you guys real quick this question: are the cameos getting a little too fan servicey, a little too not just thrown in for no reason for you guys?
I'm gonna go to Steven Walden.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I was shocked by it. I don't know. You said earlier, that you feel so fortunate to live in the golden age, and I have that thought a lot. I have a lot of gratitude whenever I see these movies because I remember growing up on Nicholas Hammond's Spider-Man with the one.
Oh my God, me too. I have that on VHS tape.
and
It's the thing that kids don't know what it is.
And to me, the
Nice.
deadly dust. Here's the message there: kids don't build atomic bombs. It'll hurt your friends. But that and the Red Brown Captain America, things like that.
Yeah.
And for me to nitpick and to bitch about that stuff, it's just like fucking enjoy what you got, man.
Yeah,
It's like
you're
it is
right.
really good.
Mhm.
Now that's me, not to take away anybody else's on it, but for me, it's like there were 2 times when I I sat forward in an excited manner and said, yeah. And one was with Krasinski as Reed.
Yeah.
And the other was the hit of the 90s X-Men cartoon when we saw
Oh yeah,
Professor X's hover chair.
The yellow-
hovered up in the classic
Yeah.
God.
La, la, la.
90s hover chair.
Dropping
Loved
the
it.
line from X-Men. The first
Yeah, Days
one.
of Future Past. He
Days-
says
there it
that
is.
to him younger self, Max McAvoy. No,
Yeah.
I got vocal at Bruce Campbell, and people were like, "Right?
Oh yeah,
who is
Yeah.
this?"
loved it.
It's
Yeah.
over.
So,
The,
but,
I mean, if you're
Evil
a
Dead
Sam
throwback with
Right.
the
Yes,
hand
the
attacking
hand.
himself.
Yes.
Oh, loved it.
and a friend of mine
If you
who
are a Sam Raimi fan, that you were waiting for that. I was waiting for that.
Yeah.
a friend of mine who's a he's loved Sam Raimi, and he saw Strange. He was like, I liked it, but I felt like that a lot of Sam Raimi's Evil Dead stuff was gratuitous, and we've seen it before. And I had to say, pump the brakes, man. We have to think about people who are seeing this are not our age, who have no fucking clue.
No idea.
Exactly.
They didn't see Evil Dead 20 times on the Superstation in one day.
Yeah.
You know, like we know, like because I had someone who was, you know, probably 15 years younger than me. You know, we're probably all someone's friend who has to call to like explain what happened on this episode of Gotham. Who's this person or whatever. I'm that guy for a lot of my friends. And she was like, you know, I didn't understand the thing with the guy with the hand and it beating him up. And I had to explain, I've seen that movie where he's fighting his hand.
Yeah.
So, I thought it worked even just like, I'm not really that familiar. It worked on its own for me. I was like, this is great. Bruce Campbell's just punching himself at a hot dog stand.
Love it.
Yes.
I love it.
Pizza ball stand.
Yeah, pizza balls.
Pizza balls, right.
Yeah,
those look delicious.
Count me in for pizza balls more
go
than
on
anything.
red.
All right, Imran, before we let you go, I want you to give us a 1-minute take and your rating of the entire series of Moon Knight. If that's not too much pressure, let it go.
All right. Moon Knight, probably now in top 3 best Disney Plus shows. I really enjoyed how different it was. The Arab representation was also great. The authenticity, I really appreciate that. The Oscar Isaac acting his goddamn ass off.
Man,
it's probably the finest acting we've seen in any of these Disney Plus Marvel shows to date. Overall, it managed to keep it really compelling and interesting. The ending was great. Again, a little rushed. These endings get rushed all the time. Same thing happens in Doctor Strange, but leaving it open for another season or something. We don't know where he's going to be, but holy man, I really enjoyed the Moon Knight. More of a character study than a superhero show, but I love both parts of it. And just, man, Oscar Isaac, episode 5, going through his memories. Amazing. So good.
Throw a number on it.
Okay. If you're going to convert, this one, I'll give like a 3.5, 3.5.
Woo!
Hot.
I still love WandaVision the best. I don't know why. I love classic sitcoms. It's a very special show still. And then this is like tied, I think, with Loki for me as number 2.
Well, and I think that's a great segue. Not only do you have the Jock and Nerd podcast, you have a TV series podcast.
Yes, the other show I do weekly with my sister is a Perfect Strangers rewatch podcast. Now, you guys are all probably too young to remember
Not me.
Balky.
I remember Balky.
Balky Bartogomos, Larry Appleton. We're literally doing a rewatch, watching every episode. It's called Dance of Joy. You can find it at danceofjoypod.com. And really, because we watched it growing up as kids, we discovered it again 35 years later. And we're like, this show was still really funny. Oh my God, the chemistry these guys have, unbelievable. So we're having a good time. It's very, very 80s niche, but I feel like the 80s are coming back in style a little bit.
They totally are. They're very back.
Perfect Strangers, I want to chime in. It has one of the best slapstick episodes ever with when they're trying to move a piano upstairs.
The piano movers is fantastic.
It's Looney Tunes meets Lucy meets, all these sitcom tropes. So yeah, great watch.
Yeah, at like Laurel and Hardy, Three Stooges. They're really like smart. Both of those guys went to like Stanford acting or whatever, and they're Shakespearean actors. Lots of fun references. The crazy thing is we have to stop and explain things that, like, if you were a kid now, you'd be like, what are you talking about? Like, what is a videotape? And then you gotta like explain what that is. That's the fun part.
All right, and then the last thing I'll ask you before we go, so this will be a teaser for you fans that are interested in checking out the Jock and Nerd podcast, something that's coming up later in 2022. Imran, what title are you looking forward to most for the rest of the year?
Oh man, well, Marvel's got two more things coming out. Thor: Love and Thunder. I'm looking forward to a lot to see where this is Taika's second movie, right? So I expect him to make it even bigger, even more fun. And I love that style he put in the first one. Had to grow on me a little. It was a little too slapsticky, but like the more I watch it, I'm like, this movie's just fun. It's just got great style. So yeah, Thor: Love and Thunder, Black Panther, every big major superhero movie. We're getting a lot of them this year and a lot more next year. We discuss and review and geek out over.
And I promise you, it could inspire you to make a podcast.
Oh, stop.
It's one of the first podcasts I listened to when I lived in Chicago. You're based out of Chicago, right?
Absolutely.
And that was where I was listening when I first heard these guys. They do a great job. You put on a great program. I see all the hard work that you, Rug Boy, Anthony, tell them all hello. And we got to do another collaboration soon. Hope you would come back and join us again here at Mostly Superheroes.
Absolutely, man. You guys keep talking your passion too. Like I feel it right back. I can say the same exact thing about you guys. Always fun to get different takes and hear people's geek passion.
Imran, we'll see you next time. You check out Imran at the Jock and Nerd podcast. We'll see you later on, man. Take care.
Thanks. Bye.
Hey, buddy. That's awesome.